To our last panel discussion of the morning, AI-powered customer insights, driving higher conversions. In this session, we will explore how AI is reshaping customer understanding and conversion strategies across industries. So before I introduce our next moderator, I would like to remind you guys that we do have a real-time AI transcription that is available in traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, and also English. Please scan the QR code to choose your preferred language. So now let me welcome our moderator, Mr. Stanley Sum, Partner Head of Technology, KPMG Advisor, Hong Kong Limited. Please welcome Mr. Stanley Sum. And also our panelists, including Mr. Michael Yong, Strategic Advisor, Google Cloud Hong Kong. Welcome. Also, Dr. Peggy Lau, Director, Artificial Intelligence, Chow Holdings International Limited and Board Marketing. And Ms. Jaslin Go, Director, Marketing, Communication and Data, Octopus Limited. And also Ms. Eileen Tang, Head of Digital Business, Maxim's Catering Limited. Welcome. So now I'll pass the time to our moderator. Stanley, over to you.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the panel sections on AI-powered consumer insight driving higher conversion. I'm your moderator today, I'm Stanley Sum, and I want to start with a little bit of a story that I had, actually, my experience in the competition and the situations in the consumer market right now. So last Sunday, I went shopping with my wife. We were trying to pick a gift for my friend. He has a newborn. We have the following conversation. My wife said, "Oh, this product looks nice," but then I said, "No, you can find it at a cheaper price online." And then she also say another thing. "Oh, another one is nice as well." And I say, "But it's very general. It's not very personalized." What we are seeing right now is the consumers are demanding for a lot of customizations, hyper-personalizations, but they also have a lot of informations and channels in like really evaluating what's the best price, right? So on this, I'm going to invite my esteemed panel speakers here to share their views and their thoughts on how they are navigating through this very, very demanding consumer landscape. Maybe let's start with looking into how AI and the Hong Kong consumer behavior and how AI can help on this. On this one, I want to invite Eileen maybe on the very first bit. So we know Maxim operates a number of many different F&B outlets, from coffee shops to like fine dining restaurants, right? With the recent trend of people going to China for their leisure time, how do you see like making use of AI to better help you to better understand the customer's needs and also drive business conversions?
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Stanley. So Maxim has a lot of different kinds of cuisine and business model, but we also offer online customer experience by CRM platform. So by this, we can leverage AI to understand more about our customer with the AI boosted database. So from this, we can drive more insights from customer side, and especially under this kind of circumstances that people are shopping more both in Hong Kong but also outside of Hong Kong. So we also have business in Southeast Asia and also China mainland. So combine all these kinds of data, we can drive more insights by AI tools.
Okay, so it's still, I think, learning from the previous panel session as well around like the importance of data as a core element for your AI bit. And then I would like to maybe invite Jaslin in sharing your thoughts as well. I mean, I think every one of us is a user or customer of Octopus. You guys have access to so much data and so much information, I think, about the Octopus customers. So how do you leverage AI in analyzing these informations or the consumer behavior from your experience? Yeah.
Right. So basically, data is key, right? But how you organize of data and how you make sense of data, you basically need a couple of tools, right? So in terms of reaching out your customers, you need a CRM tool. In terms of storing your customer data profile, you need a CDP tool. In terms of rewarding your customers, you need a loyalty engine, right? So basically, you need an orchestration of all three elements. So in terms of like data, how do you then understand your customers and how you segment the data? It's really important, right? And how you classify your data and how you feed your machine that kind of data so that they can learn in the process and be able to go with your instructions on what to do next is really important. So to me, strategy precedes machine, right? The human sets the strategy. The machines help us execute it in a very methodological way, in a seamless way. But first of all, it's actually the strategy that's really important, essentially, in lining everything up.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Jaslin. And now we also hear like, okay, it's not just about the data and the machines, but also on the strategy side. But then I think from a technology angle, Michael, I would like to also invite you to comment on this as well, right? So from your point of view and also from your experience in Google as well, how can AI support the retailers in really harvesting and harnessing the value from the data that we have and like driving commercial results?
Okay, great to be here. I think the panelists just talk about the importance of data, or probably in the previous panel as well. But one thing that we should take a look is data come from everywhere. Not only the points of sales machine, or not only the search, but it can be some impulse buying or some ad or some social media scrolling, and then you get someone go to your online website to look for something. So that's, I think, is important to collect all this data and then mix it together and then process it. But once you have the data, we used to say, oh, how can we say provide some scoring of a customer or members to profiling him or her to see what kind of customers he or she is. And also more importantly is in what stage of the customer journey that they are in. If you visit any online website right now or e-commerce website, you probably see a pop-up that, oh, you are the first-time visitor of this website. Please subscribe to the newsletter and then you get 5% discount. They understand that you are new to this website. And if you are not new to that website, they also understand that, oh, you just browsed a certain products of us 2 days ago. How can I help you to make more decisions? Do you want to talk to someone through the chatbot? Do you have some questions to ask? So again, using AI or using data to process all this. And last but not least is to find out the signal. Is the customer really want to buy something now? How many times he or she visited the website for the same product in the last couple of days? Or with the signal that certain product is not selling good, should we mark down the price of certain products straight away? These kind of things provide signal in real time to the retailer such that you can get higher conversion.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Michael. And like the importance of signal. And looking into signal, I think in a very traditional way in handling consumer requests or their demands, right? We always try to see, oh, what's the customer needs and what's the customer wants. But clearly in the digital and the AI stage, right? How do we leveraging data in capturing this signal? Really understanding the consumer demand and to drive conversion is a very important and critical point, especially when it comes to the stage of hyper-personalization. So another angle that I'm going to explore with the panelists here, obviously, is around the personalizational part. I mean, everyone wants to be seen as special, as a VIP experience. So on that note, I'm going to invite Peggy. I'm sure you have tons of experience in this VIP personalization space, especially I think want to really explore further on like how Chow is doing this in like using AI and driving personalizations and the recommendations to your customers. Yeah.
Yeah, in a jewelry business, I think unlike the food and beverage or like transportation, actually we don't have too much data about a particular customer because one will not come to Jaslin for like 10 times a year, right? So actually we use more on the big data. So we understand actually what kind of customer will like what kinds of jewelry. And also we not only focus on a particular product, but we predict based on the style of product that they want because the jewelry design is coming, having new things every day. And we will actually try to understand the customer, the shopping purpose, the budget, and what is the target that she is looking for. So we try to help them to locate the best jewelry that they want. It doesn't mean that, when you come into a jewelry shop, then we only keep pushing you diamonds, something like that. We will help you to find what you need, no matter this time it is for yourself or it is for a gift.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Peggy, on this, and this is very interesting. So now we talk about from a jewelry or a luxury angle, but also I think from a food and beverage angle, maybe Eileen. So I know like Maxim operates number of brands, and I saw the pin that you have is already like multiple brands here, and also like close to 2,000 outlets. There's actually a very massive landscape of a customer that you're dealing with. So some people told me, oh, actually, you know what, Stanley, you can't drive personalization in such a situations. But I think from your experience, do you agree with that? Do you think you can't do personalizations within mass situations?
First, definitely, we can offer the personalized offer. So as you know, maybe that we have different kinds of CRM platform. It's also powered by CDP, mentioned by Jaslin just now. And by CDP, we can have a lot of marketing automation activities to customer. So maybe one specific example is that if you register as our customer, as our user on CRM platform, and then we can note it that your birthday, right? And then we enter into the month of your birthday and we log that into our CDP. And when it comes the date, we will offer the birthday offer. So this is one of the specific example for that. And we also aim for a personalized offer for our VIP in the future, especially for Chinese cuisine. So everybody knows that for Chinese cuisine, we offer different kinds of dishes, especially some dishes is the festive flavor. But if you are our VIP, and then we can record your preference on taste, and whether you are favor for fish products or whether you are fish for meat or beef or something else. So we will record that, and then when you just booking online, and we will know that who you are and what's your preference. And then maybe we can prepare a tailor-made dish menu for you. So this is one of our aim for the personalized offer in the future. Yeah.
Okay, thank you on that. But I have a follow-up questions on this one though. So you mentioned like how you drive personalization, obviously with the data and the information collected. But I would assume there will also be transformation or changing some of the ways of the operations in the restaurants as well, right? How was that journey? It's like because I think the audience will also be very interested in knowing, okay, how we are driving some behavioral changes to people working in the outlet level as well.
Yeah, actually we are starting the practice now. We are preparing a kind of data AI-driven database for our operation team. You know, for operation team in the restaurant, they usually have the store brief to tell them how to carry out, maybe on the execution about the everyday's operation in the store. And then they need to check every details. That is kind of SOP for the operation team. So those information is massive actually for them to handle every day. So with the AI-driven this kind of database, they just enter the natural language and get the answer, what I will do today to follow the store brief. And so this can help our operational team to be more efficient. and to find the specific answer they want to know for some marketing campaign or some operation details, how to prepare the dish. Yeah.
Okay, wow, so this is also a very different ways of working comparing to what they do in the past, I assume, right?
Some in the past, maybe they can just check the book, yeah, or this kind.
But now they can chat with the AI and to get those information. So, okay, oh wow, very, very impressive. And maybe I think over to Michael as well. So we talk a lot about personalizations, right? Both Peggy and Eileen share like how they collect different data points or what we discussed earlier around signal from the consumers. But I think more from a technical standpoint, I would like to understand, okay, there is always questions or a bit of a doubt on, okay, well, leveraging AI in analyzing the data that we have or even external data as well, would that be secure and accurate? Like, how do we ensure there is no bias or ethical issues in leveraging these technology?
Well, of course, you need to do a lot of proper data collection just to make sure that the data is good collected to train the data or train the model and eventually surface your platform is in good shape. And then, of course, there are so many blind spots. The way I see it is, ages ago we have shadow IT, but nowadays we have a shadow AI. You probably don't know who among your team members are using whatever subscribe to AI tools to do something for the company, or whether they use the AI tool to ask questions or upload something. So I guess awareness and education to the colleagues is also important. Because nowadays we may use traditional predictive AI to find the segment or the right product to recommend, and looks like a personalization. But the upcoming trend is likely how we can mix generative AI in the shopping flow. That is, what if the product content or the description or the images or the videos you see on screen is actually generated live with your profile, with your search keywords, with your purpose, why you want to buy this ring in the first place. And therefore it means even you have 10,000 SKUs, you don't need a lot of merchandiser to prepare the product content, but instead the generative AI generated the right content. And exactly why, if we want to avoid any wrong content generated, that's why the proper guardrail have to be in place when you prepare the data, train the model, and when you do the output as well, to make sure that all these are in good shape. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just have one follow-up questions on this, right? So you mentioned making sure there is no wrong output, right? There are things that we can do. But what about the situation is it's not necessarily wrong, but just not complete? There is a blind spot. Like, how do we handle it usually? Yeah.
You mean from the retailer side, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if we find the signal that something is not complete or the content, or, I mean, if the customers are staring on the screen, staying on the same page for a long, long time, the platform need to make something change to ensure that, we can continue the flow or continue the process. So how you can fill the gap with your data and your AI technology is important than just to output something and then as a static and then let the consumer continue.
Okay, thank you, Michael. So let's switch to another angle, right? From personalizations to that word was also mentioned earlier around like predicting the trend. As a consultant, I'm always being asked, okay, what's the trend going forward? What should be the focus, etc., etc. In the past, I always feel, it's quite challenging. I don't necessarily have the crystal ball. But now with AI, we seem to have this crystal ball, right? But it's not just from me as a viewpoint from the consultant, but let's really ask from the industry practitioner. And maybe I start with Jaslin as well, right? Again, how do you use AI in like predicting the trends and more importantly, leveraging these output in strategizing your partnership? Do you have a real case to share with us on this?
Yeah, so maybe we can talk about the weekend travel of Hong Kong people outbound. I think that's a very interesting topic, and a lot of retailers in Hong Kong are suffering from that. So basically, in terms of the outbound traveling, you more or less will know, like during the holidays, the long weekends, the Hong Kong people will go outbounds. So especially during weekend, right, the retail will drop. So in order to tackle for that, basically you really kind of know the series of events that will happen. You don't necessarily need AI for it. But in terms of the strategy behind and how to tackle that, right? So for example, look at the kind of basket size that will remain in the, let's say, a grocery that we have a lot of partners in the grocery business. So during weekend, those kind of typical products such as personal care, food, repetitive purchases will remain in the basket, right? So knowing that that kind of SKUs will still be popular with people who's traveling elsewhere, how do they then create promotions, in the weekend to capture that crowd? So that kind of promotion can be done, let's say, on a Friday, just before they go on a holiday, to be able to give some form of incentives for them to purchase early and to be able to deliver the goods and leave it at the doorsteps, right? So it has to be matched with the kind of services that would be able to, fulfill their needs, right? So if they're not at home, who would take the delivery? And if that kind of services is available, and I used to, be in the delivery business as well, it's really important to have that kind of options for consumers, right? So that's kind of like one way to tackling, the retail issues that Hong Kong people face. And actually, you see like Welcome and Park and Shop having that weekend promotions, and we are, one of the key payment partners that collaborated with Park and Shop exclusively for that. So as a payment partner, that's how we give insights to our grocery partners and to be able to help them counteract the kind of change or trends that will affect the businesses, right? I think likewise, for example, another interesting case is people are not traveling to Japan for fear of the earthquake, right? I'm sure a lot of people are like pushing back your Japan travel, right? So I think from a Japan tourism perspective, it's going to be a big impact for them, right? So in terms of how they plan for minimizing the damage is how they can build their online e-commerce quite effectively and efficiently so that they'll be able to reach out to the travelers who has been with them before and knowing through the purchase behavior and using AI to predict lookalikes for them to be able to reach out to more customers, to be able to capture at least online purchases to maintain the businesses, right? And I think likewise, for example, Hong Kong Tourism Board has been learning the footsteps of Singapore and has been inviting a lot of celebrities to do concerts in Hong Kong as well. But if the infrastructure is not being able to support that, for example, you guys heard about the misprinting. I won't quote the name for it, but the misprinting of the tickets and creating a lot of troubles for consumers, like China consumers coming over for concerts and not having the right tickets. So the infrastructure is really important, right? So it's not about just how AI, but building the infrastructure such that AI can work for us. Without the infrastructure and the right strategy, the AI still doesn't, fulfill its purposes.
Thank you, Jaslin, on that. And I catch one very important part is I need to making sure my behavior, especially my purchase behavior, like fit into the model to drive more sale and discount from the supermarkets, I think, for the next weekend as well. So maybe over to Peggy. Like how do you leverage AI and also like predicting the consumer trend as well, right? Especially I think in the jewelry industry is like the trend and style changing very rapidly as well. And I think just before we come into the section earlier, we talk about there is lots of different designs in the market that like if you're changing a little bit, actually that might drive a lot of differences for possibilities as well. So like how do you using AI on driving that? Yeah.
Well, I think first of all we work on our data first. I think it all comes from data. Actually, we use AI to tag our product. It doesn't only tag the price, the usage, but we also use AI to tag, what is milk, and what meaning that you think it will bring to the customer. So it is like a traditional style, or is a modern, or even we will ask AI to tag the products by its meaning. So it's like sending a blessing on wedding, or is actually more suitable for parents, or actually is more suitable for the comics lover or something like that. So we use AI to help us to tag over 20,000 SKU in our company. And then after we have got all this data, then we can do the prediction in an easier way. Because if we are predicting for a particular product, actually the data is not enough. Because the product life cycle for jewelry may not be too long. But then, but if we predict per a particular tag or particular style, like whether now it is like the IP or cooperative products, that is the comic-based product, is getting more popular, then we can predict based on a larger base, and then we can spot the trend easier. And also, we will also predict per the region, because our brand has over 900 shops in over China. But actually, the shopping trend in different regions of China and even Hong Kong, they are a little bit different. So we will spot whether they are trend now in the northern part of China, and we will monitor whether it will spread to the southern part, something like that. So all this can help us to optimize our inventory, because our inventory is really too expensive to keep.
Oh yes, it's an ever-growing gold price these days as well, right? Maybe I also want to invite Eileen on this, right? From a food and beverage standpoint, right? So I'm sure there's been a lot of analysis around the trend going forward, but as a foodie, I'm also very interested in knowing what's up and coming in terms of the people dining style and preferences. Like, what are some of the study and the research that your team has done in this place?
First, I think common is to leverage more on the database, because first we need to accumulate more data for ourselves to analyze and understand consumers. So that's the core to drive the insights from the consumer side. And second, I think is to keep monitoring and update the AI implementation cycle. So first, we have already carried out to build the model for our this kind of work, but I think we still need to monitor whether the model is still applicable and feasible for us to move forward. So we need to just update our analysis on this database with the model, and then we can come out more scientific and feasible cycles for us.
Thanks. And hearing the sharing from Jaslin, Peggy, and also Eileen as well, and now over to Michael, to you. With all these great output that we are hearing and lots of insights that AI can help derived in driving conversions, making business. But as a next step, do you see actually AI would just take over all these things and we don't need to work on it anymore ourselves?
No, not really. I mean, AI is good in certain things, process large amount of data, prediction, automation, but they cannot do something each of us are good at, whether it's about building relationship with the customer, understand the context, or in this part of the world, the view is the temperature that we can provide, the warm feeling that we can provide, than just AI. All along, I don't think we should think about how we can enable or empower our business by AI, but with AI is more important. Or not create by AI, but create with AI is more important. So AI is not something that will replace us, but we'll work together as a team. Yeah.
I think we all need to learn from this on like how to really work with AI and achieving the purpose that we want. All right, so I think we are good on time in general. Just before we, I think, wrap up for the panel discussions, maybe let me just open to the forum and see if anyone have questions to our esteemed panelists on their thoughts and thinking. All right, well, then I have one actually. So for all four of you, we talk a lot around like the adoption of AI. We talk a lot data, predictive analytics, and signaling, all this kind of stuff. I'm sure it's a interesting journey that every single of you been through. But equally, I'm sure the audience in the forum right now, probably they are in a different past of their AI journey as well. Some probably have already started, some probably in the middle, and some probably are thinking of the next step as well. But let's think from a perspective of say, okay, if I really want to making sure AI is making a great impact to my business, what's the most important things that we really need to look into in your mind, especially in driving like business outcome? Maybe we start with Eileen.
Okay, I would say aim high, but starting from the small point. Yeah.
Jaslin?
I think it's really important to always like start with the strategy, the purpose, the strategy, the vision, and then think about how the tools can help us, right? So basically AI is just one of the tools, right? Whether in terms of, customer segmentation, whether in terms of, propensity to purchase, which is predictive modeling, whether in terms of generative AI, right? So basically I think it's a means to an end for me.
Peggy?
I think it's to accept that AI will not be perfect, so don't over-rely on it. But of course, it's to work with it.
Last but definitely not least, Michael.
Well, nowadays in the market, there are many tools you can use or download or subscribe straight away, and then to enable or automate some of your business processes, whether it is to analyze the data or tagging or providing some signals to you. But I guess one of the most of the time, the way I see is that many customers, they fall into the trap that they want digital transformation or AI transformation. Because when they have this in mind, in their mind, their mindset would be, okay, let the IT team or digital team do the job. The proper right mindset should be how to transform your business with AI technology or transform your business with digital technology. That's important, more important than just, oh, I got this tool, I got that tool, I have a team of AI experts, and then we are AI empowered organization. It's not.
Okay, thank you. So I think in summary, needs to have a purpose, needs to have a very clear strategy, but it's not enough, right? While you have strategy, you have a great visions, making sure you start in a manageable way, picking the right tools, but also I'm sure everyone's learned the journey in any transformation program as well. That's bound to be some challenges and issues and risks that you need to take on. Be very, very mindful on that. And of course, more importantly, like what Michael very nicely mentioned, is not just a technology issue, it's actually an organizational issue. Everyone takes part, having the right involvement and contributions to it. Don't leave it as a technical matters. IT people enable business, but they shouldn't be just the person to drive the business. I think that's a very, very good summary of that. First, okay, and definitely last but not least, thank you for the esteemed speakers for today, for the great sharing, and thank you for the participations from the audience. And we'll wrap up for the section. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for your sharing. Let's take a photo together.